David, I'm back with another video. Today we're talking about the Shadow JM35 flashlight. This is 1900 lumen flashlight. It's a budget category flashlight, and I would say it's, easily beats the crap out of like the Skyray King style flashlights that are commonly sold. This is another one that's purchasable strictly through Chinese market, Chinese websites. There's one that I know of that it's available at, and it's a trusted website, banggood.com. It's called BANGGOOD, no affiliation, but I haven't seen this light anywhere else, so I thought I would mention that that's where you can get this light at. And this is the newer version. The older one was this one, and this one was a little bit bizarre in the interface. It had just a single button. The newer ones have the hard clicky on the back. It has, as you just saw, Momentary, so you can soft touch it and then Momentary on to check out what's going on. You can click through and then the light will stay on. The old version had the single button. And it would always come on in low. It does not have mode memory on the old version. It just goes low, medium, and high. And then you can double click for strobe, or wait a minute. No strobe. Okay, the new one has strobe. That's right. The old one didn't have strobe. It just has low, medium, and high. And it's supposed to have turbo when you double click, but I can't see too much difference between turbo and high. So, and then you would have to press and hold to turn it off, and again it would always come back on in low. So with the new one, oops, weird. See, I just tried to press it to turn it off. Is really weird because you can't just touch the button it'll go up. You have to press and hold and then it'll turn off. So with the new one, you hard click through and you get your mode memory. So I got it in medium, and then I turn it off, it comes back on in medium. And then it has low, medium, and high, which is the same thing. But this one double clicks and it has a strobe. So for a little bit of comparison, I have here these two Nightcore lights, the SRT7 Revenger and the MH20, this little 18650 rechargeable light. These are very creature featured lights. They have a lot of modes. This one has ultra low, low, medium, high, and turbo. Here we have a ring where you can infinitely adjust it precisely where you like. And this one has 3 colors on it, the red, green, blue, and it has strobe as well as a beacon mode. So these are feature-rich lights in comparison with, but this, what we're talking about is a budget light. This one is retail $44.99 shipped, and that versus $119 retail and $79 retail. Of course, you can get these Nightcore lights on sale and go home happy, but out the gate, this is an exceptional value, and so I thought I would mention this today. Looking at the beam profile, we get a wide, wide spill area in comparison with these Nightcore lights. So you see, not only is it more lumens, but it's a wider spill area. The hotspot for throw is bigger, and I would say they're about equally as bright as far as the intensity, the candela. And as far as pocketability, compactness, obviously this one's the winner. These ones not so much, but they do a good job. They're rated at 1900 lumens. These two are 1000. All these numbers are quite believable. These are easily you know, a good 1,000 lumens approximately, give or take, as well as is this one 1900. So for one that beats out these in terms of output, sheer output, features, obviously this is the loser, but it's not horrible. It does have memory and it does have dual interface, so it's not too bad. But this Eagletac, a lot brighter, and we'll look at that when we take these outdoors. And with the 3 modes, I think it's I believe it's 0.3 amps on low, on medium 1 amp, and then 3 amps for a high. So it triples, virtually it triples, just about triples in output on each click forward. The older version is the shorty. The newer one is this one, and you know, for output they're about the same. There's 2 versions, the Cree MT-G2, which is an older Cree bulb, and the newer XHP-50. They're equally as bright. The MT-G2 version is going to be warmer, and it's going to have a little bit nicer color coming off of it. This one is the XHP-50 is kind of green looking. It's pretty green looking. It's not the most pleasant color mixture wise, but it gets the job done. And you know, that's not the #1 priority always in a flashlight, but it's something that can be go-to preference. The MT-G2 is a warmer, but it's still a little bit on the green side. Again, I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just the quality of the emitters that are selected with these higher end lights versus the more budget oriented lights. Again, they're not fake though in any way. One thing of note, you can break down these bigger ones to look like this, but they will not work. You have to buy the one that looks like this in the picture when you purchase it for it to work. The drivers will not, that's inside this one, will only work with the dual 26650 lithium ion batteries. So these are the big size batteries. This will work with 18650s though, as well, if you put tubes in here to, you know, put the dimension, set the dimension right, so that you slide the tubes in there and slide the 18650s inside the tubes, and they'll hold in place, and then they'll work just fine. So these are good lights. I recommend them. They're bright. They light up a wide area. They got a lot of spill. They got good throw. They've got, you know, it's a combination of both. We'll take them outside and we will have a look. The Shadow JM35. There's 2 different versions: the Cree MT-G2 and the Cree XHP-50. Both are similar. They have a different color temperature. Other than that, they're fairly, you know, you can pick one according to preference over the other. And then I'm going to be comparing them with this Eagletac MX25l3, the XP-G2 version, 6x XP-G2, and also I've got the Nightcore SRT7 Revenger, and that's about 1,000 lumen light. And then one more I've got today, let's see, there we go, the Nitcore MH20, and that is a 1,000 lumen rated light. So these 2 Shadow JM35s are rated at 1,900 lumens, I believe. And so we got these 2 Nightcore 1,000 lumens, and this Eagletac is approximately 2,500 lumens. So we're going to see where these Shadow JM35s fit in the scope with these other flashlights. And I'll just start off again from left to right, and I'll start with the Nitcore MH20. And these are not in the same category. They're not, you know, I mean, they're not, none of these are super monster size flashlights, but these are more, this is definitely a pocketable flashlight. These ones not so much, and these ones not even more, not so much. But as far as rated lumen output and just the beam profile, we'll take a look at that. Alright, so I got the Nitcore MH20, and this is just in moonlight, and it has moonlight mode as opposed to these Shadow JM35 lights. They do not have moonlight mode. And this Nightcore, low, medium, high, and turbo, and this Nightcore, these Nightcore lights, and as well as the Eagletac light, I would consider feature-rich lights. Not so much with the Shadow JM35, although they are by no means bottom of the barrel lights. They are they have Momentary on, they have mode memory, but they don't have a lot of mode selection. So where they're not bottom of the barrel, I would venture to say they're also top of the barrel considering the price. These lights can go for $45 with the Shadow JM35. So here we got this light. It's very small by Nitecore. It's very nice. I love this light. I take it around with me. It's the MH20, 1000 lumens, and you can see for how small it was, if you remember the image of it, just how much power it has and how much output, sheer output. And it has a really great throw. So there's 1000 lumens from Nitecore, and here's one should have just a touch more throw, slightly less lumens. And this is the SRT Revenger, and this one has a control ring, so you can control. It doesn't have modes, but it has a sliding mode. So you turn the ring and go down, and then it has, this one has colors: red, green, blue, blue-red, and we have a beacon. So those are some features that you won't get with, obviously, with those Shadow, or pretty much any lights with the colors. Those are few and far between. But this one has a great throw to it, just strictly speaking, beam profile. And again, that Nitecore, or yeah, the first Nitecore one, the MH20, retails at like $79. And then this one, the SRT7 Revenger, it's like 119 or something like that retail. So they're not cheap by any stretch. But as you can see, they're very nice flashlights. All right, so here's my favorite. This is the Eagletac MX25l3, the XP-G2, 6x XP-G2 version. And this is kind of a cool color temperature. You can even see the blue in the beam there, the tint. But it's really nice. It's a pure color. When you're looking at when it strikes the surface of an object, it accentuates the color well for a cool light. And you don't see the blue so much when it's striking on the surface. It does bring out the color, so it's mixed well. However however they get the color temperature. This one is nice. I like it a lot. Again, this is the Eagletac MX25l3, and it's the Cree XP-G2 version, and it's got 6 of those emitters in here. And this one is brighter. It's like 2500 ANSI lumens, and for LED lumens, which is a bit of a cheater scale method, it's like 3,500 lumens or something like that. But anyways, it's just damn bright. And it's very nice. And this one's a good one for gloves because it has a turnstile thing where you just turn the whole head of the flashlight basically to do the finer adjustments. When you got those little buttons, and if it's cold and you're wearing gloves, it's like you're going to be taking your gloves off if you want to get into the modes of those lights. But this one, you can just turn it and you don't even need to take your gloves off. You just need to push the button on, and then you can adjust your output without removing your gloves. So let's see, and let's try do this one-handed for lesser output. Hard to do. There we go. So maybe I can just stick this on the tripod real quick. And that's the high turbo. medium, and your moonlight. So good features, good light, hidden modes. Won't get into all that right now. Get my camera back off the tripod, and then we'll grab. Okay, so here's the XHP-50 version of the Shadow, and Shadow JM35. We can get some focus here. And of course it's not as bright as that Eagletac light, and it's not supposed to be. But I mean, this thing has a really good throw. It has a huge amount of spill. That's the spill area. It's very wide, and then it's got a nice tight hotspot. So you kind of get, you really do get like the best of both worlds with the beam profile on this sucker. And $45 shipped. That's the MSRP. So I know sometimes you can find it a little bit cheaper than that even. But look how far it gets out there, just as far as any of those other lights. It's brighter. It's rated 1900 lumens, and in comparison with the Nightcore Lights, you know, I'd say it's a fair estimation. I don't know if it necessarily gets quite that 1900 lumens, but it's a fair estimation. I wouldn't, you know, call it fake. Not at all. I wouldn't. Because you can see how much light is coming off this sucker, this $45 shipped light. But where you get this light is a site called banggood.com, BANGGOOD.com, and that's the only place I've seen it. So if you're looking for this light, that's the only place that you can get it from. So this is the XHP-50, and we'll go ahead, and it's got a nice cool color temperature, and we'll check out the MT-G2. This is much warmer. You can see how it's a nicer looking, in my estimation, it's nicer looking. It's got a more natural, akin to the sunlight type of light, and less artificial looking. But the artificial looking light is not necessarily bad, it's just different. And I think sometimes the artificial light, because it's so different, people think it's brighter, but actually you're just seeing a big difference that you're not accustomed to seeing. You rarely see that type of light. You're more accustomed to this type of sunlight, and then you're just kind of and then you see that bluish looking light, you're like, wow, look at that. So this has Momentary, so when you click through, the hard click through, and it's on, and you can just hold the flashlight, set it down, it'll stay on. But if you have it off and you just soft touch on the button, it'll stay on as long as you're holding, and then, you know, you can release for off. So that's kind of nice. You know, that is a feature, somewhat what you consider a high-end feature. And then we have another button, and the button feels a little bit cheap. It feels pretty cheap, but it doesn't feel like it will fail necessarily. It's just not built for, you know, that quality feel. And here we have low. We have 3 modes and plus strobe, so low, and then medium and high. And it has memory, so if I'm in low and I turn it off, and I like it in low, when I turn this thing on, it stays in low. And we can double click for the strobe. And that's about the last thing you'll get out of this flashlight. And it's kind of a slow repetition strobe. I think that this light does have a pulse width modulation. At this, I can notice it on the first 2. The medium, not so much the low, but more the medium, and then I don't notice it at all on the high. When it's on high on the full output, it just looks like a clean, you know, a clean beam coming off the light. And you can't really notice it on the others either. It's just really hard to notice. I mean, if you would have to think about it and explore what you're actually looking at before you would even notice it. And even after that, in just general use, you wouldn't really think about it too much. At least I wouldn't. All right, so that's these. I wanted to show off these cool lights because they're only $45, and that's kind of rare for this quality of light. And there they were. My name is David, and if you like the video, please like the video. Thank you. Bye.